Welcome everyone to this year's IRC conference. My name is Ken McDougall, President of Skyjack. It's definitely been a year of change, and I wish I was there presenting to you in person. However, COVID-19 had a different plan. That said, I'm still happy to be here virtually and present to you my insights on the North American rental industry. The construction rental industry generated revenues around $40 billion in 2019, although overall there are more than 10,000 rental companies across North America. The number of branches varies by company, with some with just a single location and some with up to 800 branches. Taking a look at the growth rates, as shown, the historical 5-year compound annual growth rate is 5%. And the forecasted 5-year compound annual growth rate is 6%. When we look at the total amount of fleet owned versus rented as measured by the Rental Penetration Index published by the American Rental Association, the share of total construction fleet that is held by rental companies is measured by the original acquisition cost and is currently sitting at over 57%. Next, if we look at fleet sizes, we see that the top 10 aerial fleets across North America have a total of 350,000 units. The North American rental fleet overall is a staggering 800,000 plus units. Over the past 2 decades, this industry has seen steady growth to over $40 billion. As with all industries, there was a dip from 2008 to 2009 due to the financial crisis. As you can see, that the rental industry has come back stronger than ever. With rental penetration, you'll recall earlier the 57% number. You can see a similar dip after the 2008 financial crisis. Things were tough for everyone, so contractors were choosing to use the equipment they had instead of renting specialized equipment from rental companies. U.S. rental fleet numbers have been steadily growing to keep up with contractor demand. As of 2018, there were over 600,000 rental units available throughout the United States. The demand for material handling equipment like telehandlers is almost equal to the demand for aerial equipment. You can see that both of these categories are increasing by 17% and 16% respectively over the past 10 years. The lifespan of a rental machine will vary depending on the economic climate. During an economic recession, rental companies tend to focus on repairing and maintaining the equipment they have, prolonging their life cycle. During times of economic prosperity, rental companies look to replenish their fleet with new machines. You'll see on the chart shown here the average fleet age as depicted in months. We'll now take a look at some of the product mix differences that we see between North America and China. Due to the varying applications in North America construction, our product composition is a bit more complex than it currently is in China. In China, we predominantly see DC scissors doing a wide variety of tasks, followed by booms and a small share saved for rough terrain scissor lists. Many North American rental companies offer equipment for specific applications like telehandlers for heavy lifting, large-scale projects, and vertical mass for low floor loading capacity. In addition to low floor loading capacity, vertical mass are also beneficial additions to a job site due to their electrically powered nature, compact dimensions, excellent maneuverability, and accessibility into a standard size elevator. These characteristics make vertical mass ideal for indoor construction maintenance, industrial applications, and especially for use on decorative flooring. For telehandlers, known as being the first on and last off of job sites, common characteristics include diesel-powered engines, excellent material handling capabilities, they're ideal for rough terrain environments, and their varying lift and outreach capacities make them ideal for a variety of construction applications. There are 2 distinct design approaches, a high boom mount and a low boom mount. For a high boom mount telehandler, it really makes lifting a top priority. It's a simple design and operation and allows for a functional either open or closed cab configuration. For the low boom mount, they're more used for ground engaging and lifting. Greater hydraulic complexity exists and there's a complex management system. And times have a high specification enclosed cab. China has traditionally been exposed to the low boom mount design, but a high mount may prove to be more effective for the rental fleets here as well. Here are a few key terms to know in order to understand the rental company metrics. Original equipment cost, or OEC, measures the size of a rental fleet expressed in a base currency. Time utilization is the time equipment spends on rent divided by the total time it was available. Fleet-wide utilization is weighted by OEC and is a measurement of efficiency as a percentage. Financial dollar utilization is a function of annualized rental revenue. This excludes ancillary fees and is weighted by OEC. Fleet age, the weighted fleet age in months of fleet equipment. Change in rental rates is a period over period change in rental rates measured against the change in average contract rates. When you see these, keep in mind it's based on the prior period's revenue mix. Another key metric for a rental company is the total cost of ownership for a specific asset. The most straightforward calculation for ROI is to divide the gain or net benefits earned by the cost of the equipment or investment. For the rental industry, however, this equation becomes a bit more complex. It's actually utilization times rental rates plus the residual value at sale. And the only way to minimize the figures in the brackets is to have equipment that provides good uptime. Then you divide all of this by the cost of investment, which consists of the initial acquisition costs and the total cost of ownership. If you're looking for a mute that's cheapest to buy, you may end up paying more in total cost of ownership than you anticipated. If you're looking for a machine that's cheapest to maintain in the long run, it might cost you more upfront. Equipment that is designed for rental looks to strike a balance between having a competitive initial acquisition cost and finding the lowest total cost of ownership for rental companies. Machines that are designed for rental include materials that are high in quality and robust, are made by an OEM whose focus is on continuous improvement, and also have a design team with in-depth understanding of the rental market and how these machines are used day to day. To summarize, the total cost of ownership, it is a financial estimate of the direct and indirect costs associated with an asset over its entire lifetime. The way to calculate is very specific per company, but the variables that help calculate the total cost of ownership are generally acquisition costs, which are a combination of the purchase price and any financing costs, and then the maintenance and service costs, which include parts, personnel and time, transportation, damage, and improper use costs. Now let's dig into those acquisition costs a little bit more. While purchase costs do need to be competitive, they aren't the main criteria always for rental companies. In North America, financing is also often used by smaller companies for product acquisition and aids the rental company's cash flow. The main qualifying criteria for a rental company is their financial capability, endurance, and probity. In order for a finance company to qualify rental companies under these categories, they may need to have some cash up front and permission to perform audits on the rental company's current finances and machine condition. A key part of the total cost of ownership includes a healthy service and support plan. By keeping parts at a competitive price and having them readily available to ship, along with commonality of parts across product lines, helps to reduce overall costs. To minimize maintenance through robust machine design, as they say, don't be gentle, it's a rental, which then minimizes the rental company's ground support. As with everything in rental, timing is everything. Machine downtime hurts. Fast delivery of parts means machines and job sites are back up and running faster. Skyjack products are designed with 69% recommended parts common across our product groups. This means there are fewer parts to learn and understand, fewer parts to order separately, and fewer complex or unique parts. Another consideration is the residual value of equipment. Equipment's resale value typically depletes the older the machine gets. That is true for equipment that's designed for rental. OEMs that understand how equipment is treated in the field design the machines for longer service intervals and are easy to maintain. When this is done, it can often increase the lifespan of equipment and provide the best resale value over time. We have this machine at our museum at our head office in Canada. This DC scissor was operational for 30 years and simply reliable when we found it because it was designed for rental. When reselling equipment, the OEM's brand plays a role in determining the residual value. A good reputation typically means reliable equipment. But in the off chance something happens, it's important for an OEM to have good parts, service, and distribution network. When North American rental companies do sell their used equipment, it typically goes to end users, smaller rental companies, or to rental companies overseas. But the question I have for you are, does China have an overseas used destination market? Do you know how developing countries will demand for aerial work platforms? How will the Chinese rental industry or government solve the issue? I ask you these questions because a second life or disposal of your machine provides residual value income, which is a fundamental part of the ROI equation. Another interesting historical and current topic within the North American rental market is consolidation. Every rental industry, America included, began as mom and pop shops with relatively small number of branches. In the 1990s, there was a decade where many of these smaller companies were acquired by rapidly growing industry leaders. Today, those leaders have over 800 branches, fleet sizes over hundreds of thousands of units, as well as multi-billion dollars in revenues. For those North American industry leaders, further advantages came in economies of scale. It improved their purchasing power as it led to direct sell versus distributor-based model for OEMs. This cut the middleman costs out of the purchasing equation and discouraged most OEMs from entering or in fact competing in direct rentals. It gave rental companies leverage for standardized rental rates and led to the brand power they have today. In China, the rental market is still developing towards North America is today, and potential consolidation provides some things to think about. Large rental companies exist here, but compared to the North American leaders, they're still rather small. Will there be a drive towards acquisition as we've seen in America in the 1990s? Do smaller rental companies need to look out for these signs? How will they compete as industry leaders grow? And will OEMs stay out of direct rental in China? There are ways to decrease vulnerability for small businesses. It's important to remember that small rental companies have local knowledge and agility in response time, flexibility in business practices, exceptional customer services, especially since they get to know the repeat customers, the ability to specialize and not have all types of equipment to maintain, and the ability to put in good financial management controls. The construction and manufacturing industries lag behind many others when it comes to integrating technology in day-to-day practices. Many industry leaders see this as an opportunity to develop new processes and pave the way for our industry as a whole. In North America, a large opportunity has been realized by many, including Skyjack, over the past few years. With telematics, OEMs can offer fleet management solutions directly to rental companies. This has started a shift in the North American rental behavior, and it has led to a more key performance indicator and data-focused industry. Top rental companies are investing in ways to improve fleet productivity and widespread adoption of telematic products like Skyjack's Elevate. Telematic solutions provide three main benefits: improved profitability, improved safety, and true fleet visibility and utilization. We have an amazing and adaptive industry here in North America, and I'm very pleased to have been able to share some insights with you. I look forward to visiting China again soon and being able to participate in the growth of the rental industry. Thank you again.